Story and bring in political analyst and governance expert, Professor Kedibone Phago. Thanks very much for your time this afternoon. The Prof joins us from Northwest University. Prof, I want to get to the issue of the NWC and discussions around disbanding the PEC in Gauteng and in KZN in just a moment. But I just want to pick up from where our reporter left off, Junior Kamala, talking to us about that Youth League Congress that's taking place over 2 days. An interim structure has been in place in the ANC's Youth League for 10 years now. Is it fair to say that this is an organisation, an arm of the ANC that's become a bit of a lame duck?
That's correct. Thanks for having me, Michelle. I think the question of the Youth League in the ANC is really highly problematic in many ways, but it's a huge problem of succession. So it tells us that the lack of stability in the Youth League of the ANC and the kind of problems it is experiencing will in many ways affect the stability of the party in the near future. And if they cannot get this right, it will tell you that the future of the party is already decided.
The future of the provincial executive committees in KZN and in Gauteng now also up in the air. What kinds of discussions do you think are taking place behind closed doors with the ANC's National Working Committee?
Michelle, we've seen this coming in a few days ago, that there were questions hanging around the chairpersons and the provincial secretaries of the ANC. And by and large, from what we've seen, is that there's a lot of strained relationship between the national structure and this provincial, especially the Secretary General's office, Fikile Mbalula. And I think if they are not going to iron those material differences amongst the provincial structures with the national structure, it is going to play out in the open, and it will definitely affect their show and their outcome of the local government elections that is coming.
So the ANC's National Executive Committee, the highest decision-making body of the ANC, will interrogate, according to its Secretary General, whether to disband these PECs, to reinforce them. Is disbanding even on the table, do you think, Prof, given that we are mere months away now from the local government elections?
It definitely is, and I think one of the reasons it is on the table is that we are seeing very early contestation for the elective conference of the ANC that will be coming. So individuals are beginning to position themselves and try to see if they will not be able to contest for the top 6 and the NEC position. So it is really not going to get better, in my view, in the next few months, and we may see more of this coming because each person now wants to see how they can properly position themselves for the next round of the elective conference of the ANC, especially because the current president will be going out. So it can actually, get even worse than what we are seeing at the moment.
And we've seen in May 2024 what the cost of these internal contestations have been for the ANC. I mean, just in Gauteng, dropping from electoral support of 50% in 2019 to 35% this year.
It's very clear from where I'm sitting, Michelle, that it looks like many of these politicians in the provinces in particular did not get any lesson from the election outcome they received, because their conduct and behavior, in my view, is really telling that they have not done proper introspection on how they want to reposition the ANC in their provinces. And it's sad because, as a member of the society, as people that have seen this movement, you want to, they should have in many ways prioritized these 2 provinces, because this is where the intellectual capital of our country is residing. These are metros and they have huge populations. Gauteng and KZN second. So you would want to see a lot of work that would want to stabilize the ANC in these two provinces, but also to make sure that they regain the support of the middle class. If they losing that out, it is because this is where, by and large, the middle class is concentrated. So if they are not considering all those things, but are continuing to jostle for their power for their own end, I can't see how it will get better for the ANC.
So, Prof, the next main events for the ANC will be its policy conference, which precedes the elective conference. The policy conference as well is likely and has been historically a referendum on the president and the president's term in office. So when we talk about the policy conference and the elective conference which will follow, who are some of the contenders? Because as we know, Cyril Ramaphosa cannot seek a third term, but who would be some of the contenders to take over as ANC president?
Obviously, the deputy president will do everything to throw his weight into contending for the presidency. And as we've seen that there is a lot of division amongst some of the senior members in the top six. But we know that few of them, like the Secretary General, would want to maybe even weigh into the position of the Deputy President. We have not really seen how this will play out properly, but I think going forward in the next few months, we should be able to see how the new factions emerge in order to align properly. So these are very early days to make predictions, but we know that in the next, even just towards the policy conference, because policy conference is more, we have seen in the past years, it's more on alignment of forces that would eventually make up the factions that will be contesting in the elective conference. So we just need to be on the lookout and see if these factions would in fact be prioritizing the stability of the ANC, because if they are not going to do that, it is already given that they will get even less numbers in the coming general elections that South Africa will be having.
Certainly. Professor Kedibone Phago from Northwest University, thanks very much indeed for joining us, unpacking some of the key issues involved. The ANC leadership in Gauteng is currently meeting with the National Working Committee to justify why its Provincial Executive Committee should not be disbanded. We're told by our reporter Junior Komalo that there will be an address by ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, you can catch it live right here on 405.